We're beginning the lifestyle segment, and we have Olamide Apejoye, a public relations and digital marketing strategist. I hope I got that correctly. Yes. And we also have Seun, Bharbs, a project add to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So basically the topic is fake news, and we're basically just going to dissect it, addressing unverified content. Like, what is fake news to you, first of all?
I mean, you already said unverified content.
Yeah.
Made up content for clickbait or for clout, for whatever reason people should like to do it. More often than not for clickbait, to get the attention. So they can say you said it first, or you put it out there first. Not waiting to confirm and just putting our news out there. So
yeah, for me, I think fake news is just something that was to mislead people or to change the image that people see about an organization or a person or a group of people. So for me, that's fake news.
Okay, so apparently I found out that the word fake news was the most commonly researched and used word in the year 2018, and I was like, 2017, I was like, oh wow. So right now, when doing my research, I also found out that, it dates as far back as when journalism started. So in an age where citizen journalism is on the rise, how often should the credibility, news content be sourced for, and making sure that it is actually factual news and not fake news?
Like I said, not paying attention to clickbaits. You see a link or you see a picture addressing some sort of news, which more often than not is always bad news, if we're being honest. I think you should, as opposed to just spreading that news, wait for a credible source. Say an AIT, you see breaking news, right? You see channels, you see NTA, before you post it and put it out there.
Okay, but what about social media? Because that is a world entirely on its own. So why do even people create this fake news, basically? Why?
I think the major idea is for them to trend. People want to be popular at the split of a second. And, there's a major challenge I have now. People who do creative stuff don't get popular on time. And then you find out that people who have very fake information or decide to craft out something get popular in a split of a second. So people things that would divert people from the major thing. And somehow I feel that if there's a fake, that means there's original. So if you have a fake, that means there's something, that means they're telling you to go the opposite direction. So people just want to go popular.
Talking about that, I see you a lot on social media, so this is a space you're well accustomed to. We find it difficult to draw a line between so-called influencers with no background in media or journalism now being the voice of reason, now being the press we look for information from. And so you see certain news items and you go to certain individuals' timelines or social media pages to check if this is accurate or not. Do you think that plays a major role in the spread of fake news? And I'll give you an instance. Before the elections were postponed 2 weeks ago now, a particular media house had put it online that it had been postponed with no story. And so it goes beyond the headline to reading the story, while the story says something different. So do you feel influencers, people with large numbers, do they play a major role in the spread of this fake news?
Absolutely they do. And that's why they're called influencers, which is really unfortunate, because people just say, oh, this person posted this, so it must be true, right? But again, I think because they're, like you said, they're self-acclaimed journalists, and they've made a name for themselves, by large followership. So people just always think that it's okay to listen to them. But again, it doesn't change the fact that they're not credible enough. They're human. They're people who, for some reason, some of them just, like I said, want the attention. They want the clout. They want people to say, oh, this person said it first. This is why I saw it first. So they want to get that reaction, but an impression to people. But to be honest, I think it's, if you do not see it, we also have credible outlets where we know that if we don't see it here, then it's not confirmed. Remember that? We saw it somewhere. We're like, if this person has not tweeted it, we have official handle of the we have the official handle of the INEC. Why didn't we just wait for them to tweet?
But most of the traditional organizations haven't really caught up with the times of social media. And so we suffer the fact that you have to wait at least another hour. So, for instance, INEC was declaring results on TV, but their Twitter handle, because they needed to verify and have the right information, sometimes they were about 15, 20 minutes late. And within that time, a news story can erupt pretty much on social media. And so this brings us to the question of censoring or checks and balances with media. We have that with traditional media. We have a watchdog. Social media. I personally spoke against the proposed social media bill. But How do you think this can be checked? Do you think legislature should play a role in checking this, regardless of our libel and scandal laws?
Yes, I think there should be. The reason I say this is because, personally, I don't think that you should malign anybody through your social media platform. So the fact that you're in the comfort of your room does not mean you should embarrass someone. I remember at some point I saw a quote by Goodluck Jonathan. He said, he was a former president. He said he was the most insulted president in the world. Like, for me, that was big. Because you just see people craft out stuff and then they just put it on social media. So I feel that if there is like a balance, a legal balance into this, people will be cautious of what they type. But as at last year in October, Facebook was looking forward to employing 20,000 real people to check stuff that are posted, for just to put into it to be sure that people are posting the right things. So I believe that they are trying to put a standard to it, and if we can put a standard to it, I think it might reduce. But the idea is the influencers, they have a lot of followers already, and then before a split second,
but Lami, don't you think that whatever type of legislature you put in place may be unfair as a result of the fact that a huge percentage of people on social media are anonymous.
Exactly.
And so the fact that my name is Andy Madaki
that
on social
mean
media, I now have to be careful, but your name can be Mr. XYZ.
Exactly.
No picture of yours. And so don't you think this will now affect the justice system in the sense that some people would go scot-free because nobody can identify who they are, while some other people, because they use their real identity, may get punished?
I assure you they can be identified. If you work with if you work closely with Twitter, if you work closely with Facebook, if you work closely with WhatsApp, you can get their information. How did they do it? They register their phone number and email address. Trust me, you can link it back to them if you do. I don't think it's malign. If you're ready to be a purveyor of just for clickbait, then be ready to face the consequences.
Okay, well, talking about
That's
fake news, right? You go online and then you get this news, and then you literally, whatever news you get, it is your decision to act upon it.
Yes.
Now, if we look at the Justice Smollett case right now, he was attacked, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was attacked by, according to his story, it was a racist and homophobic attack. And now after several weeks of investigations, we now see that that is not the, there's another news story. And we're seeing, people coming out. I think even the brothers have several stories. And now even the brothers are actually apologizing. The Nigerian brothers are actually involved in the situation. And I remember watching a video of some black artists and celebrities, coming out to say, we stand by you and all of that. So what are the dangers of fake news? Because I feel like that thing could have gone to 100 real quick. People could have actually gone out to protest actions like that. So what are the dangers of fake news, and why do we need to curb this in our society today?
Of mishaps, really. I mean, before you knew, people started to bring Nigeria into it and say that, oh, this is how Nigerians are, this is how the typical Nigerian is, oh, Nigerian brothers. That started to rub back on us. So this is the ripple effect, what it does to the other people, the viewers, and even the society at large. It mishaps. We've seen situations where, people started putting out videos out there, and before you knew, people started. I remember was it the Ebola time, and then people started saying you have to bath with salt water. And people started going to use that word and saying, oh, have you taken your bath with salt water?
Did you use salt water?
Did you use salt water? I'm like, that's ridiculous. What is this? So really and truly, it's the ripple effect. The fact that, guess what? Bathing with salt water might have been dangerous, and people would have done that and then, maybe incurred another type of sickness or disease. So again, there's a ripple effect all of this, and more often than not, it's always dangerous. So these are the issues.
I think, personally, Nigeria can only be changed by Nigerians. So whatever information you get, be sure that it is credible first before you broadcast it. Don't be after the fact that you want to get popular and then people get to know that you were the first. Trust me, there's no prize for being first. Like, everybody could post the same thing at the same time. So you need to be sure of what you post, to the extent that people can say, oh, if this person posted it, that means it has been confirmed. Do you understand? So for me, I think you should verify the source and make sure that it is everywhere already before you're able to spread it. So that's what I think.
So you're active on social media. Are you active on social media?
Yeah, I'm active.
So as individuals now, because in your social media, you have your own followers, you have your own timeline. Your timeline is different from his timeline, right?
Yeah.
So how have you been able to, as individuals, control the news that you have on your timeline to make sure you're not getting the wrong information?
First of all, anyone that purveys fake news on my timeline, straight on following. I don't because I really don't. I remember after casting my vote on Saturday, I was on social media, and of course I heard about the violence in some parts, and then I started to see from 2015 that people started to push out there, say, you know what, this will happen in Lagos today. And I'm like, okay, you know what, I don't want to be in this space. I don't want, I remember I logged off for about 3 days because I really didn't want to see anything on my timeline and the gory pictures and all of that. So really, because I want to control my space and to you know, manage what the content that I, you know, take in, I make sure that, first of all, if you're not a verified source, I'm not following you, I'm not paying attention to you. I'm not, if AIT hasn't tweeted it, if channels, if NTA have not tweeted it, if the official handles of, you know, federal government agencies have not tweeted it or put it out there on any form of social media, on any social media platform, I just don't pay attention to it.
So
that's
what
it for
role
me.
do you think traditional media plays and should play in countering fake news? And because, like you've rightly said, when I see certain information, and as much as we try to say digital media is taking the place of traditional media, most of us still wait to confirm information from traditional media, which is very present online right now. What traditional media plays or should play to ensure that we reduce the spread of fake news, because we can't eliminate it totally. So the likes of AIT, like you've said, radio.
I think they should issue disclaimers to people as to how not to spread the news. And then I've noticed that we're more concentrated on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I think we should go on more on WhatsApp. You know, you find very, very tough like news on WhatsApp. It spreads like wildfire. Like you just see, even our parents, you know, just get something, and before you know it, they've sent it to all the children.
The WhatsApp broadcast.
And then all the children have sent, you know, they've sent to all their grandchildren, and all the grandchildren are sending to every other person, you know. And then before you know it, it goes. So I think they should issue disclaimers for people to be careful on what they post. And you know the amazing part? You'll be surprised that what they posted in 2014, they're reposting it again in 2019, creating fear. So what I do personally is, if I have noticed over time that you post a lot of gory stuff or fake stuff, I will ask you, I have noticed this about you. I think you should stop. And then if you don't stop, is it I mute you or I block you? You just notice that you don't.
the next step to report such?
No, yes, I report
posts.
it if I notice that it's defamatory. Yeah, I do that. I report sometimes, but not all the time, because I give you warnings like 3 times. Then after 3 times, and then I just report. Not like straight up. I just report you to Instagram or Twitter or any other social. So
Well,
that's what I do.
I have to ask this question on behalf of all the Nigerian kids, right? I feel like I have to do them justice.
Okay.
As a Nigerian, there's this thing that happened with Nigerian mothers sending BCs
Oh God,
once you
you
wake
know,
up in the
My
morning.
goodness.
and
I think we should implore to them to just
Dear parents at home,
if you're watching this.
sometimes you need to actually ask your children
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
share it
yeah,
to
but
other
you know,
people.
because I also have, so sometimes my mom will send me one and I'll be like, where did you get
Get
this one from?
Like, really?
It's real news. So, you know, and some of them, they actually believe that is real news. So
Yeah.
they're sending it to you. So how can you spot fake news? I mean, a lot of people are watching this right now. So in your own opinion, how can you spot fake news?
What's the
spot
first
this
thing you look out for?
how do you identify a fake news?
I mean, so again, most of them are videos and pictures.
Yeah.
I think, I wouldn't say, I just like to observe and be like, what's going on here? And then I Google it.
Yeah.
Parents, use your Google. Literally. I Google it and then I'm like, okay, so this was supposed to happen yesterday, right? With this, it just, at the end of the day, when you Google it, if you see that it doesn't tally or match, it doesn't add up. Just know that it's fake news and refrain from, you know, reposting and rebroadcasting.
To
And
your audience.
it's really easy. It's very, very easy. Just, I mean, there's a video, right? And there's a content attached to it. Just Google it and be like, okay, did this happen on this day? And, you know, Google is so direct. No matter how you ask the question, it comes out, you know, to give you the answer in some sort of way. So
Interestingly, I
let's break it
noticed,
down.
and this happens a lot on Twitter right now, which we need to give credit to Nigerians for. Not necessarily calling it VAR, but the fact that people can actually check pictures online to see if this has been posted before. And so I remember when we had a lot of herdsmen crisis and even Boko Haram attacks in certain parts of Nigeria, people posted pictures from Sudan, Somalia, and the rest. And so other people had to go check online to say, listen, this happened 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and this should stop. But going forward from that, we've seen a lot of new accounts globally have been created in the last 1 year. And most of those accounts are used to either amplify fake information. And so how does that affect new users on social media who have just joined within the same period where we've had all these bots and fake accounts? How the fact that this account is a new account, does that mean it most likely may be a bot or a fake account?
I mean, really and truly, it's always easy to detect. When you see a bot account, what are they doing all the time? They're staying true to the cause while they're there. They are just staying. If it's fake news, they're there.
The one
back
direction.
And forth. Just, I mean, you just know that it's a robot. That's why they're called bots, right? They're not having interactive conversations like you and I would have on Twitter. You know, you just know that this one is, you know what, just don't pay attention. And as much as I always implore that as much sense that, or as much as you notice that, I think you should report to Twitter immediately. So that, you know, there's something wrong with this account. Let's
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Seun, do you think the need, one of the reasons why fake news is now a thing in our society is because you know, a lot of people just want to be popular. A lot of people just want to get their attention. So it's like it's feeling that whole need to just dish out the news. You don't even care. You just want it out, you know. Normally when people are talking, they say, oh, a lot of people, like even as human beings, you can be gisting with your friends and be like, you're adding salt, you're adding pepper and all of that. So do you think that's actually a reason why it's now becoming
Absolutely. Remember that time, there's one time on Twitter, this hashtag was trending, tweet like an influencer.
Yes.
that's just an example of what this means. People just want to, everybody wants to get their numbers up, okay? Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants, you know, to have a lot of followership. So what do they do? Wake up in the morning and post, you know, fake content so that you can get clicks.
But I think being an influencer for me personally is not really the word influencer. Are you influencing people positively or negatively?
Well, they don't care.
So what are you influencing? Like for me, so once I see you say you're an influencer, okay, I just look at your page and view all the stuff you're involved with, and then I can actually categorize if you're an influencer. What are you saying? Are you like helping people? Are you helping people repost for jobs, to, you know, for stuff, refer people for, don't be particular about just news. No, you should influence people in different categories.
Absolutely.
So at different pedestals, you're able to, and then people can say, oh, this is what this person is known for. You should be known for something, not just for news and everything. You know, fake news and all of that. No.
So what I personally do is before I respond to certain things on social media, I actually go to the people's profiles and check. And sometimes when you go to people's pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you check their timeline, it's easy to detect what direction their conversation goes. And so you know if to engage or not, because sometimes by engaging some of these purveyors of fake news, you're giving them the much needed publicity which they're actually out for.
And then I notice when you create interactions on their posts, you make them trend.
Yeah.
Yes,
do you notice?
Yeah.
There's this guy.
Attention,
There's this guy, Kevin Hart, just like endorsed, and then he had his painting, and then he drew his picture, and then he wants to sponsor him and get him to do paintings for his other 4 friends. But my point is, immediately that went out, I'm not really a Twitter person. I'm more of an Instagram person, and then they created an account for the guy already on Instagram. Someone else.
Wow.
I noticed. So I went back on Twitter. I have a Twitter account also. So I went back, I checked, and I noticed the handle the guy had kept there. It was different from the one we're seeing on Instagram. So someone created it and immediately put 7 pictures. And as the time I checked, that post, each of them had over 600 likes already. And comments were like, oh, good, congratulations. So automatically, that person, is that an influencer? For me, that's not an influencer.
That's a fake account.
Yes, that's a fake account. So I'm sure after this whole thing, he just probably sells the account and then he's able to continue his fake life again. You see, so
final words, Lami.
You know.
What do you have to say to Nigerians out there who are worried about fake news, and what do you think they should do?
First of all, because we know that traditional media, at least we can hold them to something. There's a body that checks, so they're always really careful. I think, first of all, I know you might not be patient enough, but wait to verify content from these people. I mean, we see, thank God we now have things like breaking news that scroll through your, you know, television. Wait for that. If you can't, Google is really, really your friend. Google it, you know, to confirm.
What about you,
really,
Seun?
that's it.
Okay, the change that you desire starts from you. So whatever information you see, verify it before you repost or you retweet. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
This was really, really insightful. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the political segments.